Welcome back to the Job Hunt LLC. This is a very stressful time for us. Our LLC has turned more into a collaboration of the greatest minds in the world. Our business is flourishing. We are the only LLC competing with some of the biggest name brands, including, but not limited to, what does it say? The Job Hunt LLC. I don't know where they got that name from, but we'll figure it out. But they're our greatest enemy right now. But this problem can be easily solved by hiring more people, right? We just need to build a bigger community and we need to build a bigger establishment. And we will do this by interviewing more people. The Job Hunt LLC will be envious once we get fucking big. So this next guest took time out of his morning, I say morning, to make sure that he participated in this interview. He's in a completely different time zone and country, but we won't say what city or country it is to, keep it classified. But our friend Sai from Sydney, Australia, it's 10 a.m. And he is up and energized, ready for his job interview and ready to provide for this company. Everyone, really quick, Dean, I'm with Dean. Me, myself, and Dean. What's up, Dean?
Yeah, I'm here too. Yeah.
Everyone, let's put our hands together, upside down, for our friend Sai. Sai, how are you doing today?
Hello, thank you for having me.
Of course. Sai, it is with great honor that we are here to interview you today. I know Dean's really excited.
I'm so excited.
I'm really excited.
I'm glad we're all excited.
Mm-hmm.
Dean, do you want to start us off today?
Already signed. So we do this with everyone as part of the interview process. So I have to ask you, and you can start from wherever your first thought emerges, but tell us about yourself.
Okay. As in just upbringing or myself?
Whatever comes to mind.
Whatever
really.
you think is right. Whatever is the best place to start.
Well, I think I'm off an 8-hour studio bender. Just been sat here for a while. Not really much else going on, just working on a new project at the moment, and that's it really. Not much else going on. Just keeping it brief, I think. I don't want to bore people too much.
Oh, trust me, that's not the case. We just did 2 hours with Function Space the other day.
Wow.
We're good. We can go on forever.
I can go on forever, yeah.
Sai, tell us, are you originally from Australia, or did you move there, or have you always been there?
I was, born and bred in this place that doesn't exist to a lot of people.
It exists to us. Australia is in our hearts, always.
You're real to us, Sai.
Thank you. It's a real country. It was born here and grew up here. Should leave pretty soon, but.
Oh, where do you plan on going?
Maybe Japan. I'm half Japanese, so I might live there for a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Damn.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, I can speak it, so it's all good. But the people in Japan, they look at me funny because I don't really look too.
You don't look Japanese.
Yeah.
Not really. Well, the unfortunate situation is if you get hired for the job, you're gonna have to move out to a different country. The country Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
Man.
Does that place exist, or is that just
that Phoenix, Arizona is a myth, but we're putting it back on the map. We're putting it back on the map very, very slowly.
So just like the Opera House.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start making your art? I want to say art because we know you make music, but is there anything else that you do on the side?
I mean, I always wanted to be a musician probably since I was maybe 12. Wrote songs on acoustic guitar and did it that way, which I look back on with a bit of disdain. Really started writing songs when I was maybe 16. Artistically, I don't really do much else. It's kind of, you map out little concepts for videos and you plan out the album artworks, but that's about it. I don't really do too much else artistically because
Oh, okay.
I can't draw.
Oh,
So,
same.
Me neither.
Yeah.
no.
Welcome to the can't draw club.
Yeah,
No
just
shame
We're all in
over
the
here.
same boat.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this about your music. Are you the mastermind behind all of the music? And by that I mean like the production, the mixing, the mastering.
Yeah. For that first album, it was all my choice, and I mixed and mastered it. With the new stuff, there's a bit more collaborating, especially production-wise. I still do my own mixing and mastering, mainly because it's just a bit quicker when I do it, and I don't have to deal with too many cooks in the kitchen or anything like that. So
Exactly. That's a really good way to put it. Too many cooks in the kitchen. When you're in
Yeah.
your own space, it's more like, I feel like it's more like too many cooks in your kitchen, like your
Yeah.
own kitchen. It's like you want to be in your own kitchen because you know your kitchen better than a lot of people know your kitchen.
Yeah, my kitchen's a mess. I don't want to. I feel bad for inviting people to it. It's just there's stuff in the sink and whatever, and I feel bad for it. So
Yeah, no, I feel that though.
Mm.
And with the whole too many cooks in the kitchen thing on top of that, the fees that go on top of it when you have to like pay to like get your stuff mastered, you have to pay to
Yeah.
get your stuff mixed. There's always like something on top of it. When you do it all yourself, it's all free, with the exception of the DAW that you use.
Yeah, I mean, you could use GarageBand if you wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So,
all in the beauty
yeah.
of the hands that do the work.
Mm.
Exactly.
If there's a will, there's a way. That's poor from me. That's just I'm speaking out of my ass there. That's
So you told us that you've been like wanting to make music since you were 12, and we know that you had a 2021 and technically a 2022 release with the deluxe version of your album, Sweet Beautiful Music. Have you put out music before that, or like when did you start like officially putting out your music?
Probably 2016.
2016.
Made some poor choices. That's I think why I can look back on it and kind of appreciate the journey, because the songs 6 years ago were really just not up to scratch, and they weren't up to scratch for a long time until I really learned how to mix and master myself and produce everything myself. So
Right.
yeah, I did a rebrand. So 2021 was my first introduction to music to people who haven't known me before that. So
That's all part of the learning process.
Make a lot of mistakes.
Exactly. No, mistake, then it'll hit. And then it doesn't hit every time, but you just have to keep going. The more you go, the more hits you make.
I hope so anyway.
Exactly. And speaking of hits, wow, Dean, I don't think I've ever made a better segue in my life. But speaking of hits, you have a song on Spotify, and this is rare for a lot of people, but you have a song on Spotify that hit 100,000 streams. Tell us about that song. Tell us about how it felt.
So that song's the album was going to be 10 songs, and that song was written last. It was the last song that even came into the picture, and I was unsure about dropping it because it was a bit not too pop, because I'm not afraid of it being pop, but it just, to me at the time, I was worried that it didn't have enough character or something, and put a few production elements in it so it felt like my song a bit more. But yeah, it kind of dropped it out of the blue, and yeah, from the get-go, people just put it in playlists, and then it's never grown out of favor. It's always just, the daily streams are, up above 50 a day, and from different people. It's not just one person.
That's really good.
It's not bad. I'm happy with it.
Do you also stock your own Spotify artist account just to see what's going on, what like the live activity is?
I try not to look through the playlists that people are putting it on. So just kind of, because it's a very invasive thing. I don't know.
Right.
When I listen to music, it's a very solo thing. I don't do it with a bunch of people. So if people are looking at what playlists I'm listening to all the time and how many times I listen to a certain song, it feels a bit intrusive. But
right.
just in terms of numbers, you know, or how many songs, or how many streams a day, or during I tend not to do it on the first day a song comes out, because then I get a bit too freaked out that it's not doing too well. Or
Oh, okay.
but I don't have that anxiety of, oh, you know, it hasn't hit this mark yet or anything like that. I just kind of let it go. But yeah, I mean, I check it. If not, if I don't check it every day, it's probably every second day.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I know a lot of artists that, including myself, we just sit there and we watch it. Like, I'm always on lock with like my Apple Music for artists, my Spotify for artists. I really need to stop doing that because I'll start getting depressed. So you have that concept on lock right there. The, you know, like staying away from that whole thing. Yeah, but if I don't have like one live listener at a time, I'm just sitting there and waiting. I start procrastinating all my other stuff. I'm like, where's my fucking listener? You know?
I think it's. I mean, I do understand that as well, because I think it's good to understand your market. I just I get too freaked out by watching it too often, and will go into a week-long slump of, oh, why aren't people listening? So
Yeah,
just
which is very fair, especially since you do all like the production and like everything with the song.
yeah,
It's like you see how much more work you've put in.
yeah, and it's if people have criticisms, it's all on me. So
Yeah,
you take it quite personally, but you learn how to deal with it, I guess.
And I think that's the thing too, is like what I presume like a lot of artists will do is they kind of set like these certain expectations in their head of like where it's going to land. So those like, you know, like what Alex does, you just keep peeking and looking at it. But sometimes you just kind of have to just trust what you have and trust that it'll,
Yeah.
you know, that people will like it maybe, or maybe you don't care that they don't like it, you know, you're just kind of doing it just to express yourself, you know, you just
exactly.
throw it out there.
Yeah, that you as soon as you put it out, you have to let it go. It's like letting your kid go. Just
Yeah,
It's like watching
see
your
you,
kid go
bro.
off to college.
and
Yeah.
watching them grow up.
Mm.
Oh,
Or over university. Is that the same thing?
University.
yeah,
The
Mm.
same thing.
If Australia exists, I mean, but yeah, it's the same kind of deal. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, I mean, I'm interested in something really quick, right? Like,
Mhm.
you shouldn't have told us you were from Australia because
Mhm.
now I'm interested in like the music scene over there.
Mm.
If you're like extremely familiar with like the music scene in the United States, how does it differ in Australia? Like, what differences have you seen? And like examples like what genre is more preferred over there? Like on like a general standpoint, or like how people like listen to music, how often, like what have you
Mm.
noticed?
Australian music has a very distinct sound. And in fairness, I'm not a big fan of it. It's just got this. There's something in the EQ and the mixing where it's quite dry, and it doesn't perk my interest at all. Very indie, a lot of indie music, um, influenced by shoegaze and rock and things like that, as well as kind of that neo soul thing that was big in America maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Right.
But just obviously there are some artists who do it really well and execute it really well, but that I feel like you know, you've got your top, your AAA grade pop production, and no matter who you go to, it's going to sound the same. Well, with music over here, if you get music produced by a certain group of producers, it's all just going to sound quite similar, and it's just very vocal heavy. But it's yeah, it's just not something that I personally sit there listening to, going, "Oh, this is great." So when I listen, I'm always kind of outsourcing my influences, I think.
It's very fair. It's
Mm.
very fair. Because I always see something on YouTube, right? Like I'm huge on YouTube. I don't really do TikTok. I don't do like
Mm.
Instagram or anything. I'm on Twitter and YouTube. And
Mm.
on YouTube, I'll see like, oh, like for example, just like a generic example, Pop Smoke is big in the New York drill scene
Mm.
right now. And then we'll see something like, oh, but Chief Keef is big in the Chicago drill scene. And then it's
Mm.
like, oh, and then the UK drill scene. And then you'll start digging all the way down to like, sometimes you'll even see like the Irani drill scene or like
Mm.
the French drill scene.
Wow.
But very rarely do I see like the Australian version of like a genre of music. Does that
Mm.
make sense? Like, you know what I mean
Yeah,
by that?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with Australian music. There's no, Sydney neo soul, and then you don't have, oh, this is Melbourne neo soul. It's just kind of Australia collectively, and that's why with big Australian artists that made it in the US, the Kid Laroi, I remember seeing footage of him years ago playing underground things, but now he's in the US making music that sounds like it's made in the US. It's not made
Yeah.
over here, and I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of that sound, and especially when I'm mixing and producing it myself, I wouldn't want to surround myself with music that I'm just not a big fan of. So.
Right. Exactly. And the Kid Laroi, like you were saying, his
Mm.
music is very much so Americanized, but that could also be the influence of like the people he was with.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was completely around like American singers, American songwriters, American producers,
Mm.
and American sound engineers. And
Yeah.
that could be very well like where it came from. Do you think like if he did everything by himself and like blocked off his like influence by that, it would sound like completely different?
I think if he had the same ability as a team of people, and if he just stayed in Australia, it would sound different. Um, or I think it depends, but yeah,
Yeah.
maybe if he was in America, it sounded more Americanized. I think no matter what, you're
Yeah.
just surrounded by a different setting, and over here it's just very, very Australian. Everything's very Australian, but that doesn't automatically mean it's effective, I think.
That's
Right.
very, very
Yeah.
fair.
So like
Um,
my
oh,
kind of
sorry.
takeaway from that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I cut you
Okay.
off.
But so I guess my kind of takeaway, just based on what you like the way you've explained it, is like,
Mhm.
so on Australia, like there's not really like a distinct or sort of like identity amongst, like, let's say like music coming from Sydney or music coming from Melbourne.
Mhm.
But obviously like in the United States, like there's like LA rappers, Atlanta rappers, New
Mm.
York rappers, and they all have like their own individual kind of sound, you know. So I think I'm starting to understand like what you mean by the whole like just kind of like same sound,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, Dean
It
hit it on
just
the spot.
Yeah, even with rap, or just even acoustic singer-songwriter kind of styles of music, there's this heavy influence or emphasis on keeping the accent in the singing, which is something that I really don't like, or not don't like, but something I don't do, where I kind of try and sing in an accentless voice, where it's not Americanized, but it's not really, oh, how you going, what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, you listen to Australian rap or all these kinds of people, and they all have that twang to it, and it just as much as it's true blue, and I feel like Australia prides itself on being Australian, but yeah, it just doesn't have that reach, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, which is really crazy because
Mm.
I hate to be that person, but I can relate, right? So like
Mm.
my mom's from Iran, my dad's from Lebanon,
Mhm.
but the rest of my family, everyone else is Armenian. And so like I'm Armenian.
Wow.
My parents are Armenian, everyone's Armenian.
Mhm.
And I don't need my Armenian viewers listening to this and like hating on me for this, but the entire country of Armenia, same exact thing.
Mhm.
We're pretty like it's like the Armenian genre of music.
Yeah.
We have Armenian influence, like sorry, no, not like that. We have Armenians in the United States that pick up on other like styles of singing, like there's Armenian rappers and there's Armenian like singers and just like any genre, but there's
Mm.
a huge Armenian sound to it still. Like we have like the Armenian drums in the background. Like it could be any genre. You'll still hear the Armenian influence. Like you show me any song and tell me like, oh, like this was made by an Armenian, I could probably like figure out that like it was made by an Armenian person before you even told me that, you know? So it's like I feel like that's like kind of the same thing going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Which is really crazy. Yeah. So you're saying like the Australian like genre, not the Australian genre, but like Australian music in general, like you can kind of hear like that Australian like twang you were saying. And I'm sure you reach out to more genres, like a lot of genres. So like what are your like favorite ones? Like which ones have like inspired you the most?
Obviously that kind of dance pop, just synthwave, retrowave, vaporwave, all these kinds of things. The main one actually is city pop, because speaking Japanese, you actually hear it all the time. Anytime you go and visit, you walk through supermarkets or malls or kind of the streets, and they have that sound where it's super heightened and lots of horns and lots of drums and lots of synthesizers and things like that. So it's I remember maybe a few years ago kind of going back to Japanese city pop and realizing how familiar it was. And so having that familiar sound, but also realizing that I'd been searching for it for so long, just not really knowing what to look for. So
did it kind of like give you like a sense of identity almost?
Yeah,
is that what you're trying to say? Okay.
Yeah. So that's why some of the songs off that Sweet Beautiful Music album have that city pop sound to it.
Right.
I wanted to sing a lot of the songs in Japanese, but I also did realize that the market was something that I was trying to hit, and I didn't want to just self-indulge too much. But yeah, I mean, it's probably dance pop, city pop, just pop in general. Some R&B influences. I do listen to a bit of disco and funk here and there, but I believe that disco and funk should just be left to the people who did it before and stop bringing it back.
Right. Hey.
But yeah,
because
that's about it, really.
I was listening to your music, and me and Dean had a discussion about your music too. And a common thing me and Dean do, we're like, like what kind of like, what have we heard before that this song like reminds us of? And the big one I got was the 1975. And Dean, what was the one that you got?
I felt like some, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I might be a stupid American for this, but I felt like there was like some kind of like Harry Styles sound or Harry Styles like flow going on there.
Okay. Yeah, I've gotten those quite a bit.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Both of them. So
I was gonna say, because it has that like super like happy sound in the songs. I mean, I was listening to it, man. I was at work listening to your music today. I was just like, you know, like I was bouncing. Do you have a favorite song off of your album, Sweet Beautiful Music?
I do have a few. There's the first one. It's the Hey Good Morning one. There's a song called Silver Screen Daydream, which is the last song. I was part of the deluxe edition. That's two of the city pop ones, and probably just Sweet Beautiful Music, the title track. Probably those three. Those,
yeah, all amazing picks. I also really liked I Fucking Love You. That was a really good song for me too. I really liked that song.
Dang, we all have like, I was gonna say we all kind of have like different favorites. Like my favorite is Prisms. I felt like that one was really good.
Prisms.
Thank you. It's a bit darker, that one.
Oh,
but that's what I like. I like the edgier stuff too.
I'm very edgy, as you can tell. But,
very edge of the world.
Edge of the world.
Come on,
the
I'm
Earth
sorry.
Is flat
I'm sorry.
And Australia is
this
full.
guy.
The Earth is flat, guys.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
That's
I
why.
feel like I need to backtrack on that. I don't actually believe that.
Nah, I'm kidding. I also. Yeah,
Mhm.
come on. You're watching this. You're a flat earther. Let's read a book.
Yeah, yeah, with musicians everywhere. Yeah, no.
But yeah, the whole album, like one of the things that I noticed about the album is it's very like it's very much so like one big song.
Mhm.
I feel like I can kind of feel like the songs moving forward, and like as I was listening to it, I was like, damn, all of these songs are perfectly placed. Like I couldn't imagine something from the
Awesome.
end being put in the beginning.
Mhm.
So was that like intentional?
Yeah, it was kind of growing off the Adele thing where she got rid of the shuffle.
Mm,
Because I took so much time into the track list because I'd always have to listen top to bottom and it would take 40 minutes at a time, but everything would be placed, everything on the track list was placed intentionally.
right,
But I wanted to be quite bright at the start. And you tell a story with your track list. It doesn't have to be particularly an in-depth story. But you know, you start off quite bright and you up tempo, and then you twist it a bit, and then that's when you have your dark, deeper cuts, and then you bring it up with a big kind of. So the idea was the Sweet Beautiful Music, that big rom-com-y kind of sound would be the end credits. So it would sound like when the credits roll of some whatever movie you're watching,
right.
and then the names would show up. But that's what the intention was
And that's just
supposed
like
to be.
set up like how a book should be set up, or like the general like understanding of what a book should be like set up as. What you learn in like third, fourth grade, you start off, there's like an exposition, and then you climax, and then like the drop, and like it's like it just like keeps the listener like more engaged. And I feel like Sweet Beautiful Music is like a good example of like how you should execute an album in order to like keep your listener engaged
Well,
in the music.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily like the type of music I listen to all the time. And so I was listening to it and I was like, all right, so like this is something that's out of my normal genre of music to listen to. But I was able to like not able to, sorry, I was unable to leave the album because I was like, wait, there's more to this. I still need to like keep listening. And overall, like it was just like a very, very like catchy album. I say catchy album because a lot of the songs were like really catchy and like the melodies were like stuck in my head as I was like walking around work today. So
That was the intention. Yeah,
good, very
just
good.
trying to make earworms for everyone. Each song, that was the criteria. Each song had to have a little earworm moment that would be stuck in your head for for however long, and that's how you create longevity or repeated listens. If you make something that's catchy, even in a subtle way, but you just plant the seed and you hope the seed grows.
Perfect.
Right.
That's really good insight right there.
Good analogy.
Very good analogy.
Oh, I'm talking about my
I
house again.
Well, what was I gonna ask? Oh, I was gonna ask, so what would you consider to be like your biggest sort of like influences or inspirations for the album?
For Sweet Beautiful Music, it was a fair bit of the 1975, especially it wasn't their most recent release, it was the one before. It's actually, if you ever look at it, the album covers are quite similar.
Yeah. Is it the one with Sincerity is Scary on there?
Yep.
Okay.
That one. So I kind of tipped the hat a little bit to them. I was a bit of a One Direction fan. So
right.
At the time, a bit of Zayn, bit of Harry Styles, bit of Rick Astley.
Oh,
Ooh,
Rick
yeah.
Astley, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I've listened to one Rick Astley song, and it was against my will, if you will.
I can only imagine which song it is.
You'd have to guess.
Yeah, it's not like there's an obvious answer with Rick Astley, but I went through the back catalogue and listened through all of his music, and
I'm sure it's amazing.
There's a few sleepers in there, I think. A few underrated cuts.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no kidding, dude. I think I
They
have
all
to
sound the
rickroll
same, but-
everyone
Yeah.
in this video. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop it in the edit.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean the Rick Astley. So like, what from Rick Astley kind of like influenced or like inspired the production on your album? Would you say
Just
what was the most?
honestly, the first thing you hear on Never Gonna Give You Up, the toms,
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. Yeah. Those things, little sequences, little arpeggiators, maybe not vocally too similar,
Right.
but yeah, just little elements of the song, or making songs that are offensively catchy to the point where they become stale after 2 listens. That's kind of, yeah.
Right. Um, I'm actually really interested in seeing a Rick Astley voice on your song, like a Rick Astley, like deep, strong, like just fucking inside the kick drum voice on
I
that
have a
album.
bit of mail for you. So the song that you spoke about, I Fucking Love You.
Uh-huh.
So there's a little thing that goes shit at the start.
Yeah. Right.
I'm not sure if you noticed it. That's actually Rick Astley saying shit.
Oh,
Yeah. So he's
No
in there.
way.
got that sample
Oh.
in there.
Mhm.
Damn, the Rick
Easter egg,
Astley
if you
sample.
will.
That's an Easter egg right there.
That's
We were
an
talking
Easter
to
egg.
who were we talking to with about Easter
We were
eggs?
talking to Tyreek about Easter eggs.
We were talking to Tyreek about Easter eggs, right? Do you have any other Easter eggs in your songs like that?
Yeah. I mean, the first song had a train sample for when I was in Japan.
Ooh.
Sweet Beautiful Music has a Notting Hill little sequence or scene in there. Did you guys watch Peaky Blinders?
No, I'm not familiar
Missing
with.
out.
Oh,
The
we gotta
Silver
get on
Screen
that.
Daydreams has a little Peaky Blinders little soundbite in there. That I think every song's got a little soundbite, but I've forgotten a few of them.
It's always fun to do.
Yeah.
Dean, you know who I'm about to talk about right now. I always have to include him in every single one of these podcasts, but I've been listening to this guy like he has a gun up to my head and is making me listen to his music.
Oh my God.
His name is Fred again. I don't know if you've listened to his music before.
I haven't heard the name.
Yeah, it's literally Fred again ... But he has an album called My Life from April 14th to something like that. That's the full name of the album. But the album is literally inspired by during like the coronavirus pandemic. I think like all of like the sounds that he recorded on his phone, all of those samples are all incorporated in his album. So it's like that's what that kind of reminded me of.
Yeah, it's just adding your own little personality to it.
Exactly. It's like that's your music now because it's like you got those sounds and you dropped it in the album. It's like I actually experienced this, and to be able to incorporate that into my album means that this album is actually like an experience of mine.
Yeah. It's like decorating your house. And
That's
only
crazy.
you know about it. Only you know about it, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All like the little details. Like no one knows about the Christmas tree in my living room that's still up.
Wow, it's June. Is that at that point? Is it early or late to have a Christmas tree?
No, it's early now. It's definitely early.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
But it was late. It was late for like 6 months. But now we're in that like
it's only late for 6 months though, I guess. Until it becomes early. So
but then what happens if I have it up for a full year? At some point I'm gonna be on time.
Yeah. It's like a broken clock.
The past is the past. So
see, that's the thing. Like it's the middle of the year right now. So is the Christmas tree out late? Yes, but is it also out early?
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially because I'm a day ahead. The 30th of June.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's also true. Yo, whoever created time zones can go fuck themselves.
I know. I had to do some research of what time you guys were at, and then it told me 3 different things. So
yeah, no. I mean, Arizona standard here. Let's give you like the full upfront answer. So half the year we're in Pacific Standard Time with LA, but then the other half of the year we're in Mountain Standard with Colorado and New Mexico.
There's a Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, we have 4 time zones.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like the West Coast, like the Midwest kind of, and then like I forget what they're called. Dean, you're a time zone god. You remember what they're called?
Oh God, I'm not a time zone god, but I think there's Pacific time zone, which is like that's all the way west, and then to like the right or to the east of that would be like the Mountain Standard Time,
Mhm.
and then there's like like the Midwest time zone, whatever which one that is, and then there's like Eastern Standard Time,
It's like New York
which
and
like
Florida.
yeah, like New York and Florida, exactly.
Mhm.
Have you
Right.
been to the United States?
I have once on a school trip in year 12. Oh, wait, year 12. Does that mean anything? 12th grade? Is that what you
Yeah,
call it?
12th
Yeah,
grade.
yeah.
Like you're like last year of like
Yeah,
high school. Okay.
yeah. And we had a big exam coming up, but we just went anyway.
Damn.
And went to from Sydney to Florida, then flew straight over to oh no, we flew from Sydney to LA, and then from
Right.
LA went to Florida on the same
There we
day.
go.
So 27 hours or something.
Wow.
And then
Jesus
from
Christ.
Florida to Washington, then back to LA, then back home.
Damn.
Wow.
I mean, you hit
Yeah.
like most of the United States right there. Honestly,
That was
like
almost like every corner of the US.
yeah. You just missed New York. Just
I wanted to go to Texas.
Oh,
Mm.
why?
I think a lot of songs originate from there. I wanted to see what it was about.
I could see that.
Mm.
I know
is
Travis
true.
Scott originates in Houston,
Yeah.
but besides that, Louisiana is also a big one. I guarantee you'd love the music scene in Louisiana, like
Mhm.
Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Like
Mm.
their style of music is insane. I mean, like I could like kind of like see how like your music is similar to like that kind of music too in the jazz aspect of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might start walking over.
Okay. It'll
Yeah.
only take you a couple months and a swim. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long swim.
Yeah. You'll
But
be
I
fine.
am in the future, so you never know what could happen in that time.
No. Hey, you know the music scene in Phoenix is crazy,
Mhm.
right? Music scene in Phoenix is that's I'm kidding. There isn't much going on in Phoenix. I
Oh,
wish there
I
was.
got really excited there. I believed you for a second.
Oh no, don't. I mean, we have Tyreek for
Mm.
sure. Tyreek is definitely like a game changer in Phoenix. We have Rose Otadi. We have Function Space. I'm just listing off everyone we've interviewed so far, and we we have a whole bunch of other people in Phoenix that are like really good. But like we don't have our own sound.
Right.
Is the thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't particularly say that there's like a Phoenix sound
Mm.
in the same way that someone would say like, oh, LA has a certain sound to it, Atlanta,
Exactly.
New York, etc.
Mm. I think what you guys should do is just import a few Australian people over and make them still maintain that Australian sound. So it's just why are these people from Phoenix singing with an Australian accent? And that's how you create the sound.
Yo, there you go.
Genius.
That's the Phoenix sound right there, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Genius.
I think that's a good idea.
We got Dean. We got to add that to the Constitution. Everyone that's in our company has to sing with an Australian accent. So
Yeah.
now I feel like it's right to ask you. So Sydney and Melbourne, right? I'm not like a geography guy very
Mhm.
much. I know the 50 states and I know their capitals, but like besides that, I'm kind of just lost. Sydney and Melbourne, are they like by each other or are they on completely like opposite sides of Australia?
They're both East Coast, but Melbourne's a bit further south. But by further south, I mean a fair bit. So you got Australia, and then Sydney's probably around. Oh, this is really unhelpful. Say my hand is Australia. So Sydney's here. Wait, the coast is here, Sydney, and then Melbourne's probably around here
Oh,
in a
okay.
different state. So
Right, because Australia has 6 states.
6.
Is it 6?
Look, what's happening right now?
None of us do geography, so we're just kind of all clueless.
I think it's 6 or 7.
I'm not.
I'll do it. I'll count out loud right now, but for the sake of
we can
this.
always edit this out so you're not
Mhm.
embarrassing yourself. Don't worry.
You know
6
me.
or 7.
6 or 7.
I think one's like Pluto.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Wait, I'm
called
so,
Tasmania.
so does Pluto count
Oh
as a state, or does it count as a dwarf state?
no, no.
Shit. I'm going to hell. Yeah, there you go. I mean, so like what I was gonna ask originally in regards to that was is like are the cultures like different in the two cities? Like just in terms of everything, not just music.
Well, you've got, I think Melbourne's a bit more hip. I don't know if that's a word to use, but they're just a bit more alert to things. People in Sydney, it's kind of, you know, there's one place in Sydney where people who like music and, you know, which is they kind of congregate in the same place, but you know, the rest is just going to the casinos and high-end pubs and things like that, high-end bars and all this kind of thing. But if you go up north to Brisbane, that's where all the bogans are.
What's a bogan?
A bogan. So
sorry, I don't know if I should
a
ask.
bogan is a and what the stereotype is of an Australian person is what a bogan is. They're wearing singlets and shorts in the middle of winter, mowing the lawn.
Okay, so right. Okay, good to know.
Missing teeth. All that kind of stuff.
That's where all the animals are, I'm assuming. That's where all the snakes are.
Yeah, they're probably I mean, there's deadly animals everywhere. But more,
so that's true.
So how's your immune system doing?
My immune system's great. I mean, next time I get bitten by a snake, I'll tell you. But
wait, next time.
Next time, I mean, it just happens on the regular. Don't come out here. Don't come out here.
No, I'm gonna come. I have to see if I actually get bit by a snake. But have you been bit by a snake before?
Metaphorically speaking, probably. Not by a real snake.
That's a good answer.
That's crazy.
Answer.
That is a good answer.
I think the more he tells us not to come, the more I want to go.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We have to find out for ourselves. Like I believe Sai, and I feel like Sai is like our friend now, but man,
thank you.
I don't know. I don't know if he's saying the right things about Australia, and like we have to go find out for ourselves.
Well, it's if you go to the outback, desert. Have you seen the movie Crocodile Dundee?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not. I don't think it's that far of an exaggeration.
Wow.
You kind of go out in the bush, and you do run the risk of being bitten or eaten or attacked by anything. But I feel like that's most places. You know, I think you guys got bears
up north.
And bears,
like in northern Arizona, there's like bears and stuff. But like, you know, honestly, like where we are, because we live like in what's called like the Sonoran Desert, like we have like rattlesnakes, tarantulas, like coyotes, mountain lions. It's honestly not too far off.
We actually have some of our own animals too that aren't really like anywhere else. We have something called the Gila monster here.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a couple with my own eyes.
It's like the fat little lizard that's like super poisonous or venomous.
Get a snake, get a lizard.
It real?
Yes.
Yeah, it's real.
What? So I've never heard of that before.
Bro, they bite you and they have to airlift you to the hospital no matter where you are. They don't want you anywhere near any. No, I'm kidding. But they hurt. They hurt. Apparently, to get bit by. Yeah, I'm just like that. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah,
but I feel like in America, with all these animals that you listed, except for the fake ones, they're very obvious. You know, if you look at that animal, you go, "Oh, okay, that thing could kill me."
Yeah.
But Australia, you don't have that. It's just, oh wow, that's something that's kind of normal looking, or doesn't really seem like it would attack me, but it still does, and that's, you know, just you have those platypus things. that look like a
Yeah.
Yeah.
hairy fish with a duck on its head.
Yeah.
And that's poisonous somehow. And it's just, I think Australia was created so people don't come. So that's why everyone else that doesn't live here is in denial about it existing, because people don't come here.
I'm seeing Perry the platypus
He's
completely
onto
different
something.
now.
Platypus, I just, who made that? You know, just makes no sense.
Also, a lot of animals don't make very much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. Kangaroos,
yeah.
exactly.
Pigeons, you guys get pigeons?
Bro, pigeons. I have some shit to say about pigeons. They're crazy. They fly in front of your car. Why do they always fly in front of your car? They're taking pictures of your ass. They're gonna take a picture of you. It's the government. But then the pigeons in Tempe, Arizona, are crazy because they don't even try to hide that they're fake. They,
What?
well,
Is
they
this
just
another joke?
no. I'm dead serious. Like you know how like you walk next to a pigeon and they like, oh shit, like they fly away. The ones in Tempe, Arizona, do not give a flying fuck. If you're right next to them or if you're trying to grab them, they
Really?
will stand exactly where they are and they'll just stare at you. There's some strong ass birds in Tempe, Arizona.
Wow. I'm scared of birds, so I
Oh
wouldn't
shit.
go up near it. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, like cockatoos. Oh,
I don't think I've
hideous.
had like a crazy like I've never seen like a video of a cockatoo or anything, so I don't know if they're like terrifying
Hideous
or not.
creatures. Hideous.
I'm
And
gonna
they
People
give
keep
it
them as pets.
They're kind of embody that person that makes too much eye contact with you.
oh
So if you meet someone at a club or something like that, or you go out and you just, every time you look up at something, you look up because you notice this person's making too much eye contact.
right.
You kind of try and divert your attention, and then every time you subconsciously look back, that person's still looking at you. That's what a cockatoo does.
Yo, fuck that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That just
Oh
like
man.
they just like make you feel weird.
yeah, and they got weird tongues and stuff. Yeah, no good.
Okay. I have to ask everyone a question, right? Do you remember, Dean, what you did on okay, first of all, I remember what I did on June 10th, 2022. I actually went to the Tyreek concert. I went to the Zahir concert, and the Prime Society concert. Dean, do you remember what you did on June 10th, 2022?
On June 10th, 2022. Give me just a second here. I'm actually going through my Snapchat memories to confirm. Wait, that was June 7th. Hold on. Overshot a little bit. June 8th. Okay, so yeah, on June 10th, I went to work and then I did something. I might have hung it. I don't know. I did something.
All right. Well, I know what Psy did on June 10th, 2022. Talk about a segue. Psy
do?
dropped Stay a While,
Oh,
his
right.
most recent single on
Okay.
June 10th,
Right.
2022.
Oh, that's right.
Talk about a segue.
Fair enough.
But tell us about that. How was like the creation process for that? Because I really like that song.
Oh, thank you.
How was like the creation process? You know, like it was very recent, so I'm sure all of your emotions are still high about it.
Yeah, that song was written very quickly, and usually with songs that I put out, they have maybe a 6-week kind of gap between the song being finished and then release date. But that one was only maybe a week and a half, so it was very, very quick.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. That song. The song was written very quickly, just maybe in a day and a half, and recorded in the same day and finished off a day later after that. But yeah, that song, it's just it was a bit nerve-wracking, kind of taking that barrier away a little bit,
Right.
because the first album, a lot of the lyrics are quite bombastic, not bombastic, but very heightened, singing with a glorified view of things, or having, just metaphors that were bigger than what actually happened, and exaggerating quite a bit, not in a bad way, but just in a way that fit the song because of the sound. with a real glitzy, glossy sound. But this one, you kind of pull that away and just write exactly what happens.
Right.
And yeah, so when people heard it, especially even with that kind of acoustic-y indie rock sound, I got heaps of messages from people saying, the fuck's this? This is so different to what you'd usually do.
It's experimental to what your style is, but it still
Mm.
embodies like what your work consists of.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't seem like a foreign song. It just seems like a different avenue.
Yeah, I was gonna say like just even like just from like looking at the lyrics and stuff like that, I don't think
Mhm.
it's too much of a departure, but maybe like in the sound for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No. I was just agreeing.
Stay a while. I'm gonna be okay. Look, I'm gonna be very honest. Speaking of experimental, your album art for Sweet Beautiful Music
Mhm.
versus the album art for Stay a While. My immediate thought when I saw the Stay a While album art was Monsters Inc.
Yep, that was the biggest influence. That
Wait,
was the
really?
reference. Yep.
Wow.
Damn.
Yep. Yep.
Wait, seriously?
Straight up Monsters Inc. Yeah.
Wow.
Monsters Inc. kind of mid-century art, but mainly Monsters Inc.
Yeah, I was looking at the bottom
Oh
left,
yeah.
and the bottom left of that album art
Mhm.
with like the 4 like panels.
Mm.
That
Well, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh wow, I really see it.
Yeah.
and then the doors on top.
Yeah.
But like, what does like that whole like collection of like art, like those 6 things, like mean? Like, does it mean anything, or was it just like for design?
Well, I wanted the song sonically to sound very, very comforting, very familiar. I didn't want to have something too jarring on the cover, but I wanted it to be because when I wrote it in up here, it was kind of it was just a mess of things. And I wanted the album artwork to be kind of symbolic of that without detaching a bit too much or kind of putting off people. I wanted something that was familiar looking, but a lot going on.
Right.
So people are just looking at it expecting quite a bit, and then having a song that sounds the way it does, and so it's just kind of contrasting the whole time of having warm, comforting colors, but a lot going on, but the shapes aren't too crazy, and they all fit cohesively when you look far away. But then when you listen to the song, it's just kind of indicative of the album cover, but also has little flares of things that I'd usually do. So it's not too much of a departure, but it's still
Interesting.
sung. Yeah.
Right. I feel like with the at least like for that cover art for like Stay a While, I mean it's like they're kind of like like familiar like shapes and stuff like that you would see like like even like a kid would be like, oh, like I know all those shapes. Like you use like a lot of like the primary colors like red, blue, and yellow. You know what I mean? It's just like it really gives like a sense of familiarity.
Mm.
That's kind of what I like. That's my takeaway at least from that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted an album cover for a song called Stay a While with some jarring demonic creature on the front of it, I guess. Just something that said, stay a while because you belong here, kind of thing.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I had another question for you, Sai. It was so I know you mentioned earlier you enjoy city pop.
Mhm.
I also love city pop. So I
Yeah.
have to ask, what's your favorite artist or city pop
Ooh.
artist? If you know any or listen to
Yeah.
any. Or you just kind of listen to it in general. I don't know.
I do have one that my mum actually listened to,
Oh
and
wow.
that's how I kind of found out about him growing up. But so it's just Omega Tribe or Omega Tribe.
Mega
Um,
Tribe.
and they did a bunch of collabs with a few different people, and they did collab albums. So, but yeah, they if you listen to them, that's where you'll see the biggest similarity, I think, because
The
a lot
name
of
sounds really familiar.
mhm.
So
They're
maybe
one
I've
of the
heard it.
biggest bands, but a lot
Okay.
of those, songs like Plastic Love and all those ones. They're
Oh,
quite
I
that's
do
not
know
Omega
Plastic
Tribe,
Love.
but they're quite guitar driven. But with the Omega Tribe, it's very, here's a few synthesizers, here's a few drum machines, instead of let's make this a guitar song.
Right. No, I'm glad you said Plastic Love because I do know that song and
Mhm.
I have it like on a playlist. It's
Mm.
so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. Very it's like it's weird because it's in the sense it's like I feel like I get like nostalgia from it, but I've never even
Mm.
like been to Japan or like experienced any of that culture at
Mm.
all. Like I only like my only perception of it is just through like, like social media and videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or at least like the majority of my perception at least is just like um through that lens for the most part. But like
Mm.
I don't know, I just can't help but feel like I'm like, damn, like this is like so nostalgic for some reason. Like it's just
Mm.
so cool.
Yeah, that's my main intention of making my music. It's just nostalgic for things you haven't even felt before.
Right.
Um, because none of us are around in the 80s.
Right.
I'm assuming anyway. But no matter what song it is, you have that feeling kind of overwhelm you straight away. And if I can replicate that, then I'm not saying I do, but I'm trying to. And that I think no matter how stylistically similar the songs are, with my songs and the 1975 or Harry Styles or whatever, the main goal for everything that I create is to make it a throwback, to make
I
it
love
seem
that.
like it was made a long time ago. And obviously with modern production, it's going to sound a bit different, but to have that feeling of, oh, you kind of build up that image in your head of, oh, imagine if this song came out 40 years ago, what would it do then? And that's the idea that I'm so in love with, and I've been a fan of it since I started making music. So
Right.
Mm.
And the other thing that I wanted to mention is like, Dean, I'm glad you brought up the city pop again because I thought of this question earlier, but I completely just forgot to say it. Speaking of Japanese influence, I know Dean had a little phase with Eurostep, actually.
Mhm.
Dean listened to a lot of Eurostep. He had like the playlist
Eurobeat.
and everything. Eurobeat.
Eurobeat.
Mhm.
Sorry, not Eurostep. And that also has like a nostalgic value to it too, because I don't watch anime
Mhm.
that much, or actually I don't really watch it at all. But I feel like when I hear that music, I'm just like, damn, this takes
Mm.
me back to something. I don't know what it is, but
Mm.
takes me back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't watch anime either, but I definitely understand what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So it's time for it's game time. We
Oh.
can't
Good
just like
segue.
we can't have like a interview without game time.
Mhm.
And this is a game that we don't really have like a name for yet, but we're getting there. We're figuring it out. So
Mhm.
basically what we're gonna do, we call it the car game right now. And we're gonna me and Dean are gonna take turns. We're gonna throw you like a car model, and then you're gonna tell us which one of your songs you think would fit best
Okay.
playing in that car.
Okay.
All right. Dean always starts us off with this one. Dean's a car guy.
I do like cars, by the way. Sorry.
Mhm.
Um, not to be annoying about that, but
No.
so I'm gonna name a car,
Yeah.
and you're gonna imagine that car in your head, and you
Yeah.
can look it up or whatever for reference, just what it looks like, maybe the
Yeah.
interior, stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you the name of the car, and you're gonna
Mhm.
tell me which one of your songs would
Yeah.
best fit the vibe of driving that car and listening to music or your
Does it?
music.
I have one question.
Yes.
I do have a batch of songs that are unreleased at the moment, pre-released.
Ooh.
Ooh,
If a song matches one of those, can I say that? Or does it have to be
you
one that's already
can
out?
you can at your own risk
If you're
Okay.
comfortable with it.
if you're
Okay.
comfortable with
You're
that,
comfortable with
Cool.
it.
because it's your music. So
Okay.
up to you.
Okay.
Alrighty. So that being said, um, a 2015 Holden Commodore.
Mm.
Did you search up Australian cars?
No, I just said Holden because I haven't done that one before.
Okay, Holden Commodore.
Well, they don't make obviously they don't make Holdens in America. I could go into that about all that all day, but
I don't know what's going on with Holden, but yeah, that's a Bogan car over here.
yep, so I've heard.
Good job, dude.
I reckon To Be at Peace Again, the most
To be
popular
at
one,
peace again.
because I feel like people who drive Holden Commodores, they just, instead of choosing music, they just put on radios,
Mm.
and that's the most kind of radio friendly song out there. So they just, I'm just driving my Holden Commodore, let me just put on the radio. Oh, this will do, kind of.
That's a
That's a
very
good
answer.
explanation. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Sai. Now I'm not a car guy whatsoever, and I barely know what model my brother's car is even. So I have the funky ones. You're in a food truck, right? But this isn't just like your typical food truck. This is. Do you guys have Wendy's in Australia?
Wendy's. What's Wendy's? We might. What do they sell?
It's just like burgers and shit.
Oh,
It's like American style
It's
fast food.
American fast food.
I don't think we do.
Shit, I didn't
It's like
think this
it's like
through.
McDonald's.
Right. We
Okay.
have that here.
How about a McDonald's food truck?
Okay.
What are you playing in the McDonald's food truck? And you're driving it going 70 miles per hour down the freeway.
Okay, if you're driving that quickly, you're probably playing Prisms,
That's
because
crazy.
you're getting a speeding ticket for that song. Yeah. But
Right.
nothing to do with the actual truck, just the fact that how quickly you're going.
Okay, what if it was like you were serving food out of it and it just wasn't moving?
You probably play. There's a song called Moon Cherry My Love, and it's just an acoustic kind of ballad. So I think if you're serving food out of it, you have to play music that's a bit more appropriate for kids to kind of hang around to. So just something inoffensive, pleasant enough. Just
There you
kind of
go.
background music.
All right, Dean.
I was also thinking Moon Cherry too.
There you go.
So the next one I have, oh no, I did that one last time. A Nissan Skyline.
Oh, that's got to be Prisms.
Prisms.
It depends on the color of the skyline.
Let's say white.
White? Oh, okay. Maybe it's a bit different. Probably, if it's a skyline, you probably play either one of Hey Good Morning, Strawberry Princess, or Silver Screen Daydreams. Just those 80s
Ooh.
kind of
The throwbacks.
Yeah.
answers.
The up tempo.
More the throwback jams. I like that.
Mhm.
I like that. That's good. So if it was a black skyline, then it would probably be Prisms. But now it's like a white, like an older skyline. Then you would say any of those. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Awesome.
What if it was? Okay, did you ever play GTA 5?
Yeah.
What if it was a Z-Type? What if you're driving a Z-Type?
Which one is that one again?
That's like the Volkswagen Beetle looking car that has like guns on the side of it.
Oh, why don't I remember this? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just how about a Volkswagen Beetle with the guns on the side of it? What are you playing?
Oh, I mean, I think with that song, you can't play. If you had guns on the side of it, you'd play something ironic. So you'd play "I Fucking Love You," and you'd have the la 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 la, just something really cutesy playing while you're just massacring people. I think that'd be the best fit.
There you go. And then
Good answer.
we have to add that twist to it. What car would you be in if you were playing? Let's think. Stay a While, your new single.
Mhm.
What car would you listen to that song in? What's your first pick?
Oh, I mean, I think my car. I think with that one, with Stay a While, it's got so much sentimental value that I couldn't imagine listening to that song in a. Oh, I mean, you could have it in like a Range Rover or some kind of
Ooh.
travel 4-wheel drive or whatever. But yeah, it's not really the my other songs where it's very much get a convertible and go drive through a neon city. But with that one, you could even catch the bus or something. I don't know. It's just very, very, very simple. You're not
Right.
overcomplicating much with that one.
You can play it while you're watching Monsters Inc.
Yeah, that one.
That being said, kind of segueing out of the game, what would you
Mhm.
say is the best place to listen to stay a while?
Well, it's about someone that you love very much.
Right.
And this is obviously hypothetical with people's situations, but
Oh yeah, of course.
Especially
if it,
mine.
are you okay?
He'll be fine.
You can keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. He'll be fine.
With that one, yeah. So it's a bittersweet kind of tune. So either when you can either listen to when you're feeling really good about it, because it's kind of gone in a good way, or when you're really upset about it. But that when you're really upset about it, that's when you kind of listen to the chilled back version of it. And probably time frame wise, you'd want to go sunrise
Ooh,
or sunset.
it is a sunrise song.
Mm.
There's so many like songs where it's like I'll listen to it in the morning, but I swear to God I won't listen to it at any other time of the day.
Yeah,
Well,
it's crazy.
like what are your like songs for that? Like like you have like a morning song?
Well, I work on music at ridiculous hours, so my morning songs are usually just the demos / progress that I've made from the night before. But morning songs, I think there's a few. I mean, Harry Styles' album recently, that's just kind of been a comfort blanket.
Great album.
It's
Yeah,
so good.
just a few songs off there. Not I actually haven't been listening to too much music over the last 2 months. It's just kind of been one set thing because I've been so busy.
Right.
But yeah, it was probably a demo or Harry's album at the moment during the morning.
I have to ask, do you listen to your own music like just for fun?
Sometimes, yeah. I feel like if you're not your own biggest fan, then why would you even bother doing it? And I know people that think it's shameful to do so, but there's nothing wrong with being proud of what you create, especially because no one else knows how long it took. But especially when a song has freshly come out, you just because once you submit the song, you have 6 or 7 weeks without hearing it
Right.
out in the open. So you just you have your songs where you've had them out for a year and you go, oh, that's the situation I was in a year ago. But you have some of the songs where you go, oh, this was how I was a month and a half ago, and it's nice to look back on. And
Right.
yeah, so sometimes, and it's mainly I'm mainly, if I'm listening to my songs, it's mainly the demos or the updated versions of the things that are about to come out. So
Damn. That's honestly like that's it right there. I mean, like you said, you make music at like crazy times. I feel like me and Dean are like old. I mean, we're not old at all, but I have a bedtime. I sleep at like 10, and I wake up
10.
at like and I have to wake up at like 7. Well, I work a lot, but I definitely like. I think that contributes to the reason why I think there are morning songs and why I think there are night songs. But yeah, also like producing at night into the morning it's a phenomenal feeling. Like it's a crazy. That's when you're like the most motivated.
Yeah,
because you're willing to stay up through the night for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you produce during the day, that's when it feels like a job.
Wow.
But when you produce at nighttime and you go over to the morning, that's when it's like that's when it's a documentary moment. You know what I mean? That's when you struck gold, and you've obviously hit some kind of inspiration. So that's why it's taken that long. But yeah, when you produce and you start at 12 midday,
Yeah.
it's just let's just get this done. But nighttime, it's
You're
you're
doing
more
it for
prone
fun.
you're more prone to your feelings and everything affects you a bit more. So
It's a
That's
very good way to put it.
that's very true. I have a question.
yeah.
We asked Function Space this question,
Mhm.
but Dean, I don't know. Every time we have a singer on here or like a producer of any sort, I think we have to ask this question from now on. If you had to write a jingle for
Oh.
what, Dean? Come on. If you had to
No,
write,
go
if
ahead.
you,
Go
if you had
ahead.
to write a jingle for any company that doesn't
Mhm.
currently have a jingle, or if you could change one, which one would it be? Because Pusha T, I don't know if you were aware of this, but Pusha T actually wrote the McDonald's intro or the ba da ba ba ba. That
Oh
was
wow,
Pusha T.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So like, if you had to make one for any company, which one would it be?
I'd want it to be something kind of left field, or something that I use a lot, or something kind of left field, like a broomstick production company.
Interesting.
That's it. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind making a jingle for a really top end kind of brand.
How about like
Um,
maybe like a company that like people have to like interact with, or like people see like every day,
I
if
mean,
that helps narrow it down.
yeah, I mean, do an Apple one, or
Oh,
maybe
Oh,
a Mercedes one or something. I don't know, but
because
I don't know what that would be.
Apple has that one like really weird house song that they play in front of their iPhone 13 intros now. Like that very like jungle-ish like electronic song.
I have no idea what that is. Is that because we don't get internet out here? We don't have
Not
the
quite.
satellites don't come out here. Is that why I don't know about it?
Maybe it's just like an American commercial. But I'll
Maybe.
have to like send you a link to like
Mhm.
the YouTube video for it so you know what I'm talking about later.
Mm,
But yeah, because Apple has that now and it's very like electronic and
mm.
it's interesting. You know what my answer would be?
What would it be?
You guys have Home Goods in
No.
Australia? Well, it's just like a
Home
furniture
goods.
store.
I think I have no idea. We have some furniture stores, but I don't think one of them is called Home Goods, unfortunately.
I used to work at a place called Home Goods, and it's really less furniture and more so like decoration.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had some like crazy traumatic experiences there.
Right. You
God,
okay?
I've
as
had
one
some.
does.
Yeah, I'll never step foot into Home Goods again. Unless I'm like
Wow,
too
that bad.
happy, unless I'm in too good of a mood,
Uh,
then I'm never stepping into Home Goods again. If I really need to humble myself, I'll go to Home
you
Goods.
could do it on psychedelic drugs or something. Go to Home
I
Goods
don't.
on some shrooms or something.
Oh
Bro,
my
you know what would
God.
happen if you went to Home Goods on shrooms? Oh Lord, you'll probably rearrange that entire store.
Yeah, without touching anything.
Yeah, you know what the jingle would sound like too?
Here
It
we
would just sound like chainsaws,
go.
like death metal, because
Oh, it depends on the trip.
that's what it reminds
Chainsaws.
me of. That's what reminds me of sober. I mean, I don't really do anything, but uh, I broke glass there one time. I was like 16 years old, and I broke a glass shelf there one time, and I just got it up the ass, dude. Like
What
they
the?
were yelling at me. It's like, damn, I'm sorry. Like I broke a glass shelf. You really trusted a 16-year-old to hold one of your like fucking pieces of glass? Damn. And it like broke in my hands too. But no one believed me. I have some
CCTV.
crazy. Yeah. No, I mean they didn't even bother checking that. Came right out of the paycheck.
Wow.
Dean, you can ask Isaiah about that moment. I think Isaiah was there for that.
Oh,
But
I will.
um, but yeah. Hey, Dean, do you have any final questions or anything before we start with the hiring process?
I have one final question, and it is
Mhm.
always in compliment to our guest. but what hair product do you use?
Right now, not much.
Not much. Is it all
No.
is it all natural up there, or what's going on?
Yeah, at the moment, because I'm not really
Wow.
doing anything public in
Mm.
terms of. It sounds bad doing public appearances, but I'm very much. It's I'm very much keeping to myself at the moment, so I'm not really
That's okay.
taking care of it.
Props to you though. Your hair looks good.
Oh, so does yours. Thank you.
Bro, Dean's always asking about some hair, and he never
Mm.
says anything about my hair.
Well,
Maybe
what
one
products do
day.
you use?
It's confidential.
See, I asked about your hair.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No
You know,
worries.
my hair, quote unquote. I'm usually bald, but I'm
That's
growing it
cool
out.
though.
I'm growing it
Low
out.
maintenance.
Yeah, I mean it's that, but also bald is not a place you want to be most of the time. And hey, I haven't had hair in like 2 years. You should have seen my hair like 2, 3 years ago. I had
Mhm.
hair that looked like your hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that wait? Are you older than me?
I don't know. How old are you?
I'm insecure about it, but I'm 23.
Oh, well, I'm 42. So
Right.
no, I'm kidding.
Oh, well,
I'm 20.
20.
20,
What?
almost 21.
What is happening? So you can't even drink then
No,
legally.
legally no. I mean,
Mm.
I don't drink regardless. Yeah, not really. I mean, I've sipped here and there, but
Mm.
yeah.
Wow.
But in Australia, I would have been able to drink for the last 3 years
Yeah.
because apparently you're not
Or
allowed to drink here.
or if you do it the true Australian way for the last 10 years.
Oh, that's also there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they
So-
start drinking at 6 over there.
Oh yeah, yeah. My mum gave me a glass of wine my first New Year's. So
Yeah, America's a weird fucking country, man, especially with everything going on. But we won't get into that whatsoever. Well, Dean, I feel like you did the hiring process for the last like 2 times, so I think I'll step in and do the hiring process this time. Let me go
Alright.
into my business voice really quick. Sai, it has come to our attention that you can deliver a lot to the table, and with your very you're hired, you got the job. A long story
Fuck yeah.
short, and really quick, I just wanted to say thank you very much for taking the time to come on the show and
thank you for having me.
talk about your music. Of course, we're very glad to have you. And just like talking about your music, talking about your life, having this conversation. Always very good having you. Let's stay in touch.
Absolutely.
If you're watching this video, it did run shorter than some of our other ones. But if you're watching this video, thank you for watching. If you're not watching this video, you don't even know what I'm saying right now. So fuck yourself, respectfully. But if you're watching, give it a like, give it a subscribe. I've done my research. Give it a notification bell. Share it with your friends, because according to our target demographic, actually Tyreek pulled up this information for us. He's the head of the marketing department now.
Wow.
Share it with your friends. You might not want to share it with your mom because your mom might not be as interested. But share it with everyone you know. Maybe watch it with your dog, because I know my dog Foxy watches TV. Shout out Foxy, praying for her. But yeah, thanks for watching. We're doing these interviews. We drop it every Tuesday and Thursday. But if you're Psy, we drop it every Wednesday and Saturday, Friday, Saturday. You never know. Yeah, Australia. They're always in some different time zones, so they might drop it. They might watch it here. They might watch it there. But yeah, but hey, everyone, thanks for watching. Again, I'm here with me, myself, and Dean, and our very special guest today, Sai.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
have
you,
a
thank you,
good
thank you.
have a rest of your good day to the viewers. I'm gonna stop the recording now.